how many persons are infected. They want to see how many persons have died so far. And that in itself creates stress. And so it is important for persons to also take control of their environments in avoiding the news sometimes. Sometimes that has to be a healthy step back that we do in terms of managing our stresses. And of course, steering clear of the hot button topics, the politics, the religion, or things that are maybe a particular difference within your setting. So it's going to be very, very important for persons to become self-aware and also being aware of their environment in terms of being able to manage their outlook, their boundaries, and of course controlling some of those aspects that they can control. Okay, and of course being gentle with oneself. Very often we find persons want things to be perfect. In the grand scheme of things and in the grand scheme of our lives, there is no perfect thing. And so a lot of times persons may be extremely hard on themselves, extremely self-critical as to they didn't do this enough, or this wasn't done right, or this wasn't perfect enough. And sometimes it is important for us to take that step back in recognizing that we need to be gentle with ourselves and that we have done our best with the resources that we may have had or is provided to us or within the setting where we are. So in other words, we're learning also to grow where we're planted. And in situations where we can alter the situation, we alter the situation. And how do we do that? We're looking at the whole idea of exploring healthy possibilities of solving, having that discussion. If it's a situation where you can have a discussion with the person to de-escalate a particular situation, then have that discussion so that it may even shift the environment from being extremely toxic to one that it can be a bit more healthier and productive in terms of communication, even within the home. Somebody left the dishes unwashed when it was their night to do that chore, and as opposed to getting upset and walking around hum-drumming wondering why it didn't get washed, just having that discussion sometimes, even just situations like that. And in a working environment, it's important for persons to actually have clear communication so that there's no miscommunication, because that in itself can also lead to toxic environments, which can make work environments very stressful. And be open to making changes that you want in others within yourself. So you can't say to me, well, perhaps you should come to work on time, but then you're showing up 2 hours later, especially when there's a task to be completed or a project to be completed on your job site. So even within our home environments, it is important for us to explore the whole idea of, are we willing to make those changes within ourselves that we're requiring from other people, right? Adapting to the stress. Now, how do we adapt? We reframe. Reframing is, a lot of times they say, think positive. How do we do that? And that comes through reframing. Reframing allows us to put a spin on something in terms of adapting to the stressful situation. So something seemed a lot off. For example, we went to work a morning and we said good morning. We were happy. We had a good weekend. And we went to work a morning and we were saying good morning to our coworkers, and one particular coworker didn't answer. We may go, oh, I wonder what did I do to her? Or I wonder what her problem is today. As opposed to, I wonder if she had a good weekend. And so putting a spin to create a positive outlook so it doesn't affect you as much is going to be important. Because remember, the whole aspect of self-care is also being able to manage your stress. And so when we do the whole reframing, we are looking at a positive outlook, something that's going to make you feel good, creating a an outcome in your mind that makes you feel better about the situation, and it also will help with the communication. Because look at it this way. If you're upset with the person because they did not say good morning when they really may have had a difficult weekend, or they may not have heard you, and it could be a situation where you become upset and of course project that anger throughout the day, disrupting your other means of communication with your other coworkers, and of course making the environment even more stressful than it was when you came in the morning. So it's going to be very important to reframe or create that positive outlook in your mind, no matter what the situation may be. I know that may be a bit difficult as we look at the whole idea of loss. However, in looking at loss, if the person was suffering or was sick, we can look at it that there's peace now. They're no longer hurting. They may be in a better place. And so looking at that is looking at the whole idea of creating that positive outlook. Now, examine how impactful this issue is going to be. So you're going to decide now, you're going to prioritize, does this really need my attention right now? So for example, how is this going to affect me today? Is this going to matter tomorrow, a month from now, a year from now, 5 years from now? If it's not going to have any impact on your life, the good idea would be to let it go, because it's not going to have any impact on your life. Now, I know when we say we say let it go, we go, so how do we do that? There is this Hawaiian ritual that we would have adopted in NLP that I love a lot. I love that. And it is the Hopono. And the Hopono is the Hawaiian ritual that says, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. Now, what is this asking you to do? It is asking you to look at, what can I be grateful for from this situation? What lessons did I learn? Does the situation change if I love for a person? Or can I be peace with that person? Because walking around with hate is also toxic. So we can actually do that. And please forgive me, whether or not you may have contributed to the situation, the ideas that you may have created in your own mind about the person or about the situation may be one that is making you even more tense. So you also have to, forgive yourself for even internalizing some of those ideas that you did. So allowing yourself to utilize forgiveness. And of course, saying sorry. I'm sorry. Even if you don't verbalize it to the person, make peace with it within your mind or yourself, that you are sorry for whatever would have transpired. You're sorry for being so hard on yourself. You're sorry for thinking that you were not worthy or unworthy. Whatever it is, allow yourself some forgiveness. And of course, in terms of being able to maintain those aspects now, it is important for one to adopt a healthy lifestyle. So we're introducing walks. One of the things that I like to tell a person, especially those who are depressed, is keep moving, keep walking. Because, just start walking or go for a quick break or something. Because what happens is that when one becomes depressed and one stays sedentary, as in still, or sit down and with a tub of ice cream in front of the TV, it actually makes it worse, because the varying chemicals within the brain are now working against you in terms of reacting to cortisol, etc. So keep moving. Start doing something that you love, if it's yoga, if it's meditation, etc. And of course, even some of the foods that we eat in terms of being able to manage some of those stress hormones. So I noticed I did something wrong. I didn't introduce myself, but I'm so sorry. I'm Fiona Charles Richards.